And then,
Yes, I am.
the next week, you have 2 games. I'm just telling you.
Welcome to the Sarpy County Board of Equalization meeting. Today is Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. It's 3:00 p.m. Anyone that wishes to speak during the open public comment section, if you'll check in here with the clerk, that would be great. There's a sign-in sheet there that will be part of the meeting minutes. The first 15 minutes of the scheduled board meeting is designated for that public comment, and if we don't have anybody that wants to make public comment, we'll move on to the next item. Please silence all cell phones. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the north wall of the county boardroom. We have present today Commissioners Kelly, Klug, Warren, Burmeister, and so far not Commissioner Mixon. We also have our County Administrator Bonnie Moore and our County Clerk Deb Hotaling, along with Jeff Meixel, our County Treasurer, and Dan Pittman, our County Assessor. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4 is public comment. Do we have anybody for public comment?
No, we don't.
Okay, so we'll move on to item number 5, the consent equalization agenda. Would anyone like to see any item removed from the consent agenda, or if not, a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Warren. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, item number 6.1 is a public hearing, real property exemption review hearing, parcel 011591994, tabled from October 22nd, 2024. This was an item on Werner Park. We do have a public hearing on this matter, so we'll open the public hearing here in a minute, but the parcel in question as a whole is owned by the county and utilized for cultural entertainment purposes. This hearing was originally requested to consider the impact of the sublease between Werner Park and Amazon for use of a portion of the parking lot by Amazon for delivery truck parking during the winter holiday season. This type of use generally would not fall into the category of public purpose. However, the board has been informed that the sublease has not been renewed and that the parking lot space will no longer be used for a non-public purpose. And in light of that non-renewal, the request for review has been withdrawn, and therefore we don't think the board will be taking any further action. It's a public hearing, though. Would anyone like to be heard on that matter? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. And would any commissioner like to take any different action than taking no action? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 6.2, which is tax correction 17456, Dan Pittman, County Assessor.
Good afternoon. Do you have any question on this one?
Questions for Dan?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carried.
All agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Equalization is adjourned and will reset for the Board of Commissioners. Welcome to the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. It's 3:04 p.m. We have present today Commissioners Kelly, Klug, Warren, Mixon, and Burmeister, along with our County Administrator Bonnie Moore and our County Clerk Deb Hotaling. Item number 3 is public comment. Do we have anyone for public comment?
No, we don't.
Okay, so we'll move on to awards, proclamations, and presentations. Item 4.1 is the 2024 Veterans Day Recognition Proclamation. We'll have the commissioners come down to the front here while we read in the proclamation. So each year near Veterans Day, the Sarpy County Board sets aside time to pause, reflect, and honor our local veterans. It took brave and courageous men and women who made extraordinary sacrifices, sometimes the ultimate sacrifice, so that our nation might remain free. We do not take those freedoms for granted. 20,000 military veterans live here in Sarpy County, so we have a strong tradition of military service here. Our board and residents are forever grateful. Today, I'll read a proclamation for our veterans. Commissioners will then honor 4 fallen veterans and their families from the local area. Before that, though, I'd like to note that through Veterans Day, our administration and 1102 buildings are lit green as part of Operation Greenlight for Veterans. By shining a green light, we hope to let veterans know that they are appreciated and supported, and remind others to thank our veterans. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize military veterans who now work for Sarpy County, including those who work in our Veterans Service Office who organized today's program. To all our military veterans who work for Sarpy County, we're proud you're part of our team. Your skills are valued and you make us a safer, more effective, and better county. Veterans who work for Sarpy County, please stand and be recognized. Thank you so much for your service. This year, we have the privilege of remembering 4 local veterans who died as a result of their active duty military service. We're also acknowledging their Gold Star families who share the same sacrifice of service. They are Sergeant Lonnie Calvin Allen, Corporal Shane Edward Killian, Private First Class Timothy James Madison, and Corporal Dagan William Tyler Page. You'll hear the stories of these remarkable young men in a moment, and by recognizing them today, we hope to preserve their memory, share their legacies with future generations, and remind our community that freedom comes at a cost. Please join me now in a moment of silence for these local heroes. I'll now read the proclamation into the record. Whereas every year in November, our nation pauses to reflect on the tremendous sacrifices made by the men and women who have so bravely served our country. And whereas Sarpy County is immeasurably grateful for these American heroes who defended the freedoms and values we hold most dear while risking their personal lives. And whereas approximately 20,000 Sarpy County residents are military veterans, and whereas these veterans are our family members, friends, and neighbors who answered our country's call, forging a proud and unselfish tradition. And whereas we especially remember those veterans who gave the ultimate sacrifice and did not return home, and recognize the families who share the same sacrifice of service. Therefore, the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners wishes to honor the veteran family members of Sarpy County and urge all citizens to remember those who served and fought so valiantly in our past conflicts on the seas, in the air, and on foreign soil. And furthermore, with the designation as a green light for Veterans County, the Sarpy County Board of Commissioners hereby declares this week through Veterans Day, November 11, 2024, a time to salute and honor the service of our men and women in uniform transitioning from active duty. And furthermore, as we prepare to celebrate Veterans Day, we ask all residents to support those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces and participate in activities that affirm our appreciation and patriotism for all who have served and those who are currently serving our country. Commissioners will now read the stories of our veterans. After each biography has been read, we'd ask their families to please come forward and receive a proclamation and a challenge coin and take a picture. The first up is Commissioner Mixon, who will recognize Lonnie Calvin Allen.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will read this right now, and then I will have just a word or two afterward. Sergeant Allen was known by everyone as Calvin. He was born on March 7, 1980 in Omaha. Calvin attended grade school at Birch Crest Elementary and in 1998 graduated from Bellevue East. From a young age, Calvin demonstrated a love and talent for art. He especially loved drawing cartoons. He was a genius when it came to electronics. The most unique thing about Calvin was his individuality. He once said that the uniqueness of an individual makes the person who they are. Calvin was not a selfish individual. He loved people, he made friends easily, and knew how to entertain them. Calvin accepted Jesus Christ as his personal Savior when he joined Mount Carmel Baptist Church. He was baptized on August 23, 1991. He was a member of the youth choir, the youth men's group, and would also sometimes usher. Calvin was active in sports and played a variety of sports from baseball, football, basketball, and wrestling. He earned his varsity letters in both football and track at Bellevue East. Calvin was active in the Boy Scouts of America and earned several badges, pins, and the Arrows of Light Award. He partook in multiple community cleanups and food drives. Calvin lived his life through a life of service and involvement within his community. As a member of a youth group, he visited with those in nursing homes, as he had a special place in his heart for senior citizens. Calvin attended Northeastern Junior College in Sterling, Colorado, as he pursued a degree in criminal justice. Calvin joined the Army in 2001 as a member of the 2nd Battalion, 22nd Infantry, 1st Brigade Combat Team of the 10th Mountain Division. Calvin was stationed at Fort Drum, New York, and deployed in support of the War on Terror to Bosnia and Kosovo. Calvin gave the ultimate sacrifice to our country on May 18, 2006, during combat operations in Baghdad, Iraq. Calvin was proud to serve his country. He will be remembered by his family, friends, and country as a hero and will be forever loved. Calvin wrote in his personal coat of arms, "If I had $1 million, I would help overseas countries. If I had 1 year to live and could do anything, I would try to do something that would make people remember me." I think that last statement is very evident, and we do remember you, and thank you for your sacrifice. I've shared this a number of times publicly, and I always will do this when it pertains to our veterans. And this was from my dad, and he always reminded me, war is hell. And he always said, I hope you never have to see what I had to see or what I had to go through. So I always want to let everyone know war should always be our last resort. And I've had my father, many family members, and my brother serve, but I did not lose anyone in my immediate family. So having lost someone from your immediate family, and for Calvin to give his life for our country means a great deal, and it's greatly appreciated. And that is something also the family is truly, it is also their freedom, but their sacrifice. And so when we always say freedom, there's a price for freedom. There very much always is. And we have so many rights today and so many freedoms because of all of our veterans. So at this time, I would like to have Calvin's family come forward and be recognized.
And then we'll get a group picture.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Klug. I'm with the District 2 County Commissioners. It's my opportunity to recognize an individual who's given the ultimate sacrifice for our country as well. Today, I get to recognize Corporal Shane Edward Killian. Shane was born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska on May 13th, 1981 to Patricia and Roger Killian. He spent his childhood alongside his brother Chad playing numerous Little League sports such as baseball and football. Shane's love for sports continued when he attended Omaha South High School, where he lettered in football, basketball, and track. He was the quarterback of the football team and helped lead the team to state playoffs during his senior year. During his time at South High is when he met and courted his wife, April. After graduating from high school, Shane elected to focus on his career instead of school. The military was not something on his radar until the passing of his grandfather in 2002. Shane knew that he wanted something more from life than the career that he was in at the time. There was never a question of which branch of service he was going to join, the United States Marine Corps. On December 2nd, 2002, Shane shipped off to boot camp after kissing his fiancée, April, goodbye. Following all training, he was assigned to the 3rd Battalion, 5th Marine Regiment, and immediately deployed to Iraq in support of the War on Terror. Upon his return in fall of 2003, Shane and April got married, and soon thereafter were expecting their first child. After many months of pre-deployment training, Shane and his unit deployed again in September of 2004 to Fallujah, Iraq. Their mission was to take back the city from insurgents. During the siege, the Battle of Fallujah, on November 15, 2004, Shane's squad was positioned on a rooftop to eliminate the insurgents from an adjacent building. Tragically, he lost his life in the firefight. Coincidentally, it was on the same day that his son, Shane Jr., was born. His wife, April, was notified of his death within hours of giving birth. All of that was some insight into the life of Corporal Shane Killian, but he is not who he was according to his family. Shane had a natural aura about him. His smile could light up a room. He had great attention to detail and liked everything neat and organized at all times. Shane had a shoe obsession, especially with Nike Air Jordans. Shane loved the water. Swimming, boating, riding, and jet ski all made him feel like he was on top of the world. As much as he was well-liked, he had a rough exterior like many other Marines. Shane was very proud of the man that he had become and the family that he was building. On the inside, he was a teddy bear. Shane loved and adored his wife, parents, brother Chad, Chad's wife Kate, and his closest friends. His family has no doubt that he would have made an amazing father too. Would Shane's family please come forward to be recognized? And as they come forward, I would just simply state words cannot express the level of gratitude that we have for Shane and for you and for the sacrifices that you have made for us, allow us to be here today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for remembering. That was coming up to 20 years in 10 days.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dad. Okay, sure. Good job. Commissioner Warren will now recognize Private First Class Timothy James Madison.
Timothy was born to Ken and Nancy Madison on June 6, 1978. He had 3 older brothers, Ken Jr., Tony, Ricky, and a younger sister, Christy Jo. Tim loved sports and fishing with his family. He loved the outdoors and all that nature had to offer from the time that he could walk. Tim grew up in Bellevue, attending grade school at Bertha Barber, middle school at Mission, and graduated from Bellevue East in 1997. As a teen, Tim detasseled corn, terrible job, worked at a nearby apartment complex, and fished on the river and took long walks in Fontanelle Forest. He was always a nature lover. As Tim got older, he found a new love, and that was old junkers. Tim owned more old vehicles than the rest of his family combined. His favorite pastime was refurbishing and selling old cars. In 2001, Tim married Melissa, and the following year, their daughter Haley was born. Their sons Jonathan followed in 2003, Michael in 2006. Tim was always a hard worker. He worked full-time at O'Reilly's Auto Parts and had numerous part-time jobs. Tim joined the Army in 2005. He graduated from boot camp at Fort Leonard Wood. His first duty station was Fort Carson, Colorado. He was a member of Company E, 2nd Battalion, 8th Infantry, 2nd Brigade, the combat team. On June 8th, 2006, during a pre-deployment training, Tim gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Tim's greatest gift to others was giving himself and sharing whatever he had, even when times he had so little. Appreciate the service, appreciate the sacrifice of the family. This is kind of hard for me. My son served following, or just prior to the last family's son going into Fallujah. His unit relieved the 10th Cavalry, or the 1st Calvin's unit in their tour in Iraq, or in their Bosnia trip, and then followed them into Iraq. My son was wounded in September of 2006. I can only imagine the pain the family still experiences. I would like at this time, would Timothy's family please come forward and be recognized? To follow me is retired Colonel Don Kelly, who is here to recognize Corporal Dagan Page.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And what an honor this is for me to participate in this ceremony. You know, I never met Corporal Dagan Page, but I felt like I kind of got to know him when I worked with his mom on a ceremony we did not too long ago to rename a street in front of his childhood home. Dagan was born February 6th, 1998, and graduated from Millard South High School in 2016. Dagan signed a delayed entry program contract with the Marine Corps in September of 2017, and in January of 2018, he left Omaha for boot camp at the Marine Corps' recruit depot in San Diego. Throughout his 23 years, Dagan lived life to the fullest. He had a passion for hockey and started playing at a very young age. He played youth hockey with the Omaha Hockey Club, and all 4 years of high school as a West Side Warrior. In 2016, the West Side Warriors claimed the high school state championship title, and Dagan was a lifelong Chicago Blackhawks fan. Off the ice, Dagan loved to spend time outdoors, especially in the water, on a skateboard, or golfing. Dagan was a member of St. Paul's Lutheran Church in Millard and Boy Scout Camp 331. Photography, music, art, especially sketching, playing video games, and joking around with friends and family were all hobbies that Dagan continued throughout his life. He had a soft spot for animals of all kinds, but especially dogs, and most of all his 3 dogs, Shyla, Gracie, and Finn. It has been stated by many that Dagan was my best friend. Dagan was there for me when I really needed him, and Dagan was that guy that always kept us going, even when we were in rough times. Dagan loved the Brotherhood of the Marines and was proud to serve as a member of the 2nd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment at Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton in California. He deployed several times during his service and spent time in Japan, South Korea, Australia, Jordan, and Afghanistan. His accomplishments included the Korean Defense Service Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Sea Service Deployment Ribbon, and the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Navy Achievement Medal, and the Purple Heart. Dagan and 12 other service members were killed during an evacuation of citizens of the United States and Afghan allies at Hamid Karzai International Airport in Afghanistan on August 26, 2021. He was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal of Honor in December 2021. Dagan will always be remembered for his fun-loving spirit, tough outer shell, and giant heart. Would Dagan's family please come forward so we can honor you? Okay, I think our plan now is, I just want to make a closing comment, and then we're gonna ask all the families to come back forward for a group photo. So, as a veteran myself, and then listen to Commissioner Warren talk about his son, I can't speak for every veteran, but I can only speak for myself. I served 27 years, and I have a lot of pride in that. But I also have a lot of remorse because, like most veterans, we leave a lot of friends, colleagues, and comrades behind. And it saddens us that they didn't get the chance to be here today with us. So when the county, which I deeply respect, our efforts to recognize and salute veterans, when we shine this courthouse green, I'll drive by it for the next week and I'll have a twinkle in both eyes. This one will be for probably tears of sadness, and the left eye will be tears of pride and thankfulness for the service of our colleagues and friends that didn't get to come home with us. So really appreciate the Veteran Service Office for putting this together. It was pretty emotional, obviously, for the board. Even though I'm the only veteran. Everyone up here has family members and colleagues that have served, and they're affected by that service every bit as much as I am. So we thank you guys for putting this together, and we thank the families from the bottom of our heart for being good parents, mostly, good brothers and sisters, and good family members. You did it right. You raised great individuals, and we were just happy as could be to have the chance to honor them. So if you would come forward, we'll get one last picture of everybody together, and thank you once again. An applause for the families, please. You guys can get
Have the families all up front there together and all. Covering you, Gary? Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, item number 5 is Commissioner Administrator announcements and comments. We'll start with Commissioner Mixon.
I have none.
Well, I just like to tell the families that came for the ceremony, they call these board meetings for a reason, because they're not exactly exciting most days. So don't feel obligated to stick around if you've got stuff to do. Again, I just want to say thanks publicly to the families for coming, and we really appreciate the service and sacrifices you've made.
Bonnie?
No comment.
Item number 6 is the consent commissioner's agenda. Would anyone like to see any items removed from the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
I think,
I'd like to move 6.5 to the regular agenda.
okay, so is that a motion to approve with the removal of 6?
He can just move it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, well, I want to move 6.5 to the regular agenda, but I guess I'll make a motion to approve as published minus 6.5.
Sure, sounds
Okay.
great.
Second.
Motion to approve the amended agenda by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion?
You guys have anything?
Not seeing
I
anything.
don't have anything.
There's the move.
Refresh. Yeah.
Okay,
There we go.
there we go.
Please vote when you're able.
Thank you.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carried.
Item 6.5 is Resolution 2024-314, settlement agreement with Jason Slama for various civil rights claims in the amount of $400,000. Chris Vance, Clerk, Register of Deeds, Operations Manager.
I don't see Chris Vance here, but I'd ask someone from the county attorney's office to come forward.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is a claim for civil rights claims for various claims regarding and against the county, but the county is not worked with NERMA actually to settle the claims within Jason. Do you have any questions regarding the various claims?
Questions?
No, I don't have a question. I just, I wanted to bring it down to the regular agenda, first of all, because it's a fairly large sum of money. And even though the county's obligation is only half of it. But second of all, just to say that going forward, I'd like to look at our policy for how our, whether on duty or off duty, the kind of activities that our law enforcement officers participate in, because obviously we incur liability every time that happens. So I think that's something that we need to work with the sheriff's office on moving forward to determine if that's in the best interest. Now, our insurance broker has written many articles that said it's probably not a best practice, although it's been done as long as I've been on the board, and it probably predated me by decades. So, but that's just something I think as a board we need to look at moving forward. Is that in the best interest of the county and the taxpayers? So,
Yes, Commissioner, we can take a look at.
all right, thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions or comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carried.
Item 7.1 is Resolution 2024-316, Health, Dental, and Ancillary Insurance Renewal for calendar year 2025. Bonnie Moore, County Administrator, Mike Williams, and Jim Garpina, FNIC.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm going to let Mike do most of the talking. Jim Garbina is here as well. Just wanted to publicly thank the team for pulling all this together. It's a lot of work between HR, the County Attorney's Office, and our brokers to do this in the Clerk's Office as well. So just want to thank them, and I'm going to turn it over to Mike.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Commissioners. Good afternoon, too. I've been here since
It's close
1:30. so-
Close to bedtime.
Yeah. Good point, Jim.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank everybody that was involved in helping us with our 2025 renewal. I think from all the work from everybody, we were able to come to a good renewal on our health insurance, the 3.8%. No plan design changes, which is always good. Keeps everybody kind of happy. And the other thing we obviously looked at was our ancillary coverages, which is our life, our dental, our disability, and things like that. One thing, and Jim, if I miss something, just smack me in. But one thing is we moved the life insurance, which is nice for our employees, up to $75,000, which I think was a great move. When I first started working for the county back in the day, we had people that were basically anybody that had 30,000 of income or more, anybody had more than 30,000 of income. So as everybody's talking about inflation, things change. We were able to get it changed to 75,000, which is great for the county and the employees. We also moved our ancillary coverages to Mutual of Omaha. They have a relationship with Blue Cross Blue Shield that allowed us to get a discount, if you will, on the ancillary coverages. And also by shopping, which we do every year, we were able to have some pretty good savings on our ancillary coverages. The disability and a lot of the coverages, the ancillary coverages, we increased their guarantee level benefit. So it'll be guaranteed for a period of years longer than just one. So, and I think information was sent to the commissioners to explain exactly what coverages have what levels of guarantees and so on and so forth. I've said enough. Is there any questions from the commissioners?
Questions for Mike or Jim?
Some of the highlights, are there any highlights that have changed for the better? I know we heard the insurance.
I've lost 30 pounds. So I thought I'd just bring that up. But anyway.
I found it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I think I got half too.
No, actually, everything highlights are increasing the death benefit to $75,000, which is great for our employees. Also, to enable us to get years guarantees on some of our ancillary coverages, and also not having to make a change in carriers and plan design. I think that's probably the big thing for for the county and the employees. So we do have some large claims, but that's why we have insurance. And we've been able to, and making some changes that, like we've done in the past several years, we've been able to keep the rates in control. So,
Mike, could I add a few things to that, if I may? Just a couple other things to highlight. Over the last 5 years, our percentage of health insurance increases have averaged 1.7%. So we're at 3.8 this year. That's a good thing. Regarding the ancillary coverages, we're switching from Reliance Standard to Mutual of Omaha, and we've heard really good things about the Mutual of Omaha network, so that's great as well. With our previous carrier, we had some dentists that kind of were out of network, and that caused some challenges. I wanted to say, too, on increasing that death benefit, that was actually done at no additional cost to the county because of some shifting and savings that we receive. So those are just some additional things to highlight.
thank you, Bonnie.
Okay. So I just want to not make you sweat, but test you a little bit.
Sure.
So the
Jim, please listen to
Absolutely.
3.what%?
3.8.
Okay. So out in the marketplace, I'm hearing that 5 on up, and most people
Oh,
are
yes.
double digits.
Yeah, double digits.
So, okay.
A
So
lot of
that's,
carriers are starting out at low double digits. Medical inflation, the big causes today is pharmacy. It's just kind of getting very, very expensive.
okay.
And managing that's a little difficult. But, I think all in all, our employees have done a great job in making sure they go to their physician to get a check, their annual check, and that's so important. And we need to continue to push that to make sure everybody gets an annual review.
Okay, that's significant. If everybody else is double digits and we're
Yes.
at less than 4%.
And actually, even in some cases, higher.
Okay.
That's why I lost 30 pounds. But anyway.
Perfect. Any other questions for Mike or Jim? Okay, thanks for coming out.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Mixon. Any discussion? Please vote.
Thank you all.
Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carried.
Item number 8 is an executive session for a legal matter.
For the protection of the public interest, I move that we go into executive session to discuss a legal matter.
Second.
Motion to go into an executive session for a legal matter made by Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Mixon. Any discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carries.
4:30. At 3:43, went into executive session where our discussion was restricted to a legal matter. Need a motion to return to regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to return to regular session by Commissioner Mixon, second by Commissioner Klug. Any discussion? Please vote.
I'm a yes.
Okay.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carried.
All agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Commissioners is adjourned.
Good job.